Hey guys, I have to apologize to you because apparently I was a little bit blunt with my near disaster video that I posted yesterday, and I didn't mean to scare anyone. The Harmony Project is still alive and well. I just almost temporarily destroyed my beautiful milling machine here. Yes, it's old and I only paid $1,000 for it 10 years ago when I bought it, but I've put so many hours of work into it. It's my baby. And yeah, you might look at it and say, oh, it's a piece of junk, but it's a fully functioning X, Y, and Z, accurate to within less than 1/1000th of an inch X, Y, and Z milling machine that I built from, I won't say scratch, but I built from bare bones. So it scared me when I almost ruined this elevator nut down here. It's kind of an irreplaceable part. It would have taken me hundreds of dollars to probably get a new one machined. The threads on it, it's like 1.25 by 5 thread per inch, super heavy duty brass. I mean, come on, where am I going to find something like that? So I was scared. I really was scared that I just finally got my machine working, just finally got it all dialed in and everything's working great. I got my encoders, I got the Z-axis working, and then the one little thing I'm worried about is my Z-axis stop, so that when I travel up and down here, and I'll get my beautiful wife to help come zoom in.
Oh, okay.
So over here is my Z-axis limit switch. Back when it was hooked up to the dumb up and down switch, and you would move up and down, those little tabs would come in contact with this. It would kill the power automatically. Right now, because of how I have it hooked up, I can hit that limit switch. Right there. It just clicked. You probably couldn't hear it, but I can keep going. And I was like, I'm a little bit worried about that. That scares me because if I write some...
Whoops.
Camera problem. If I write some bad G code, I could go up above that limit switch, and it worried me. So I thought, well, maybe what I'll do, I'll turn off my machine and then just very slowly go up with my hand crank and see what happens when I get to the top. Well, I wasn't even thinking. This knee, guys, this is called the knee. This whole big, huge piece of steel up here is the knee. And it probably weighs 3,000 pounds. Okay, maybe 2,500 pounds. I don't know. The whole machine, The whole machine, I think, is like 4,000 pounds or 3,500 pounds. So it's a lot. It's like 2,500 pounds or who knows. But that whole weight, after I got all the way up to the top and I was very slowly, I thought maybe it would come to a hard stop. It didn't. It went up above the last thread and then it fell one complete thread, and there's only 5 threads per inch, so it fell 1/5 of an inch. That's 200,000th that it fell with 2,500 pounds of force, and it crushed the top thread. And then, making matters worse, I'm like, oh crap, I can't believe I just did that. Well, maybe I can rethread it. So I start trying to go the other way, and it wouldn't go, so I backed it off and went a little harder and backed it off. Yeah, I did that for 3 full revolutions. So then I not only screwed up the top thread, but then I screwed up probably 3 full threads. So I was panicking a little bit, guys. I can't even explain to you how many hours I put into this, how much hard work I put into getting this machine working, because I work on a shoestring budget. And that almost destroyed, or in my mind, could have destroyed the machine that I worked so many years building and getting working, getting dialed in. So it scared the crap out of me. Big lesson learned. I mean, I'm grateful that it's an old tank. It's a tank. This thing is amazing. People write to me on the forums and say, oh, it's good iron. I mean, yeah, it is. It's freaking amazing. This thing is like a beast. But it's also a precision machine, and I don't want to hurt it. So I'm grateful that it's forgiving, and it allowed me to make that terrible mistake and still recover from it. Many, many hours of sweat and hard work and careful grinding on the threads with my Dremel to to remove some of the material that got smashed in the wrong direction. And I did a very horrible video, and it wasn't my wife's fault because she was trying to make sure I was safe. But
It was my fault.
she cut off the video right when I was getting it fixed. So everyone's like, well, are you okay? Is it working? Yes, it's totally working.
Sorry.
It's back again. And if you rewind and watch that video, maybe a minute into the video, you'll actually see me spinning this nut by hand. So it spins freely enough that I can spin the whole thing very easily by hand. It's probably 95, 90, 97% of the functionality it had before. It used to spin so freely that when I was going down with the Z-axis before, it would actually freewheel. This handle would actually start flipping on its own for a good 10 or 15 revolutions. That's how freely that Z-axis spun before. It was crazy smooth. It's not quite that smooth now, but maybe after a few months of me machining with it, it might actually slowly wear that smoothness back in. It'll probably have to just get over a few of the rough spots for me grinding the pieces, the high spots off with my Dremel. But yeah, it's good. We are up, down, everything's working exactly like it was before, so I'll still be able to machine. I'll still be able to do everything. My machine is not dead. The project's fine. It just scared the crap out of me. So, what I'm working on, what I caused myself a 3-day delay over, was I was trying to come up with how I want to machine these new parts. And I spent so many years getting my machine functioning and working on my machine that I haven't had time to become a machinist. And I haven't learned the tricks that are necessary to know how to do work holding properly, or how to do fixture plates, or how to make fixtures for custom jobs. And it all sounds very scary to me. And I don't have a touch probe yet. I'd love to get a, what do they call those things? The Renishaw touch probes or something like that. But they're hundreds of dollars, so I'll probably end up making my own little DIY probe to, here's the little wire that I have that I was doing some contact probe testing, and it actually worked fine. But I just like all the other stuff, I have to build it. I've got to go into Linux CNC and figure out how to do the routines to do that, and it's going to take time. So I was working on how to do a fixture for the next parts, the scoop supports that are going to be replacing the old scoop supports that I did, and just trying to come up with a good way to do them. And I was going to be working pretty high up on the table, and that's what made me think, ooh, my Z-axis doesn't really have a good stop. So I'm going to have to, I want to test a few ideas out on the forum, my Linux CNC forum that I bounce ideas off of, for getting that Z-axis stop switch tied into Linux CNC. The X and Y will, those hard stops that are in here will kill the power to those servos, but because the Z is not tied into the power of the normal machine, it's on its own 400 watt power supply, I have to be careful with that. So at any rate, I'll figure it out. But that was really what I was doing. I was like, I'm a little bit worried about the Z-axis, and then by worrying about it, I actually caused the biggest problem of all with my Z-axis. Almost killed the the elevation nut there. So everything's cool, everything's good. I'm just 3 days behind because of almost, destroying my poor machine here out of stupidity. But making mistakes is the best way to learn, and it burns it into your head when you make a mistake, and I'm human, so I'm going to make mistakes. But it's how we recover from those mistakes that counts. Anyway, just wanted to let you know everything's good. We're going to keep moving forward, and I'll be putting more videos out soon. So sorry for the 3-day delay, but I thought it was important to put this video out and let you know everything was good. So take care.